That is so good. You've answered my next question. May I just briefly share it? I had a creation this summer that was very inspired. I was feeling very happy. And in light of our economy and the state of business, and I am a personal coach, I wanted to do training within companies where the owners wanted their people to feel better, wanted them to come from inspiration rather than compensation and all that. And I had a lot of energy around this, and I came up with a seminar, and I titled it Coming from Inspiration, and a lot of my own experiences and some of your techniques, etc. And I was very excited, and I just let it sit because I was afraid I would try too hard to act and then I'd mess it up. Well, then I had an opportunity to do this, and briefly, the environment did not respond positively. And so I kind of went, oh no, I'm observing what's going on out there. And I kept getting feedback, well, the economy isn't such that people want to invest any money in this right now. And I actually did put on a seminar for a company on a pro bono basis who needed something like this. It was like trying to answer a question they hadn't asked, as you've said before. So I struggled with all this, and I said, you know, I'm not allowing this. It's not flowing through, and maybe I'm doubting the second step. Maybe that doubt is there, and so I've backed away from it. And I guess my question to you would have been, what can I do at this point? You've sort of answered a lot of that.
The thing that we're getting from all that you have offered here is that you are a deliberate creator, and you like to have your own hands in the clay. And the idea of step 2 being taken care of by the fairies of the universe or by God or by God force, while it is satisfying on the one hand, it is a sort of not satisfying on the other, because you want to be the deliberate creator of your own experience. And we want you to take satisfaction from the birthing of the idea and the bringing of yourself into alignment with the idea. And sometimes what happens, that feeling of impatience about something not manifesting, means you're too involved in step 2, which is not your work. In other words, anytime you begin to feel impatient about something, where I need to do more, you have forgotten that it's not your job to do more, it's your job to get out of the way. And in fact, the very impatience that you are feeling is the indication of what is in the way. And so sometimes an extraordinary idea is born out of a failed idea. And the extraordinary idea could not have even been there if it were not for what seemed in the moment like a failure or like things not moving along. What we want to impart to you is the absoluteness, the inevitability of you getting everything that you want. It's like going to a movie where you know the end of the story, and even though it's a little shaky in the middle, you're not too worried about it because you know how it ends. And we want you to begin to tap into the satisfaction that your inner being feels about knowing the happy outcome, knowing the happy ending. And it takes the angst out of wherever you are. So the balance that we're wanting you to reach for is, how can I be focused enough that I care and not focused so much that I don't feel good? And we say that's what reaching for the path of least resistance is about every step along the way. It's just, how specific can I be and still feel good? How specific can I be and still feel good? It doesn't feel good to lay back and say whatever will be, will be. And it doesn't feel good to say, I've got this seminar, how can I sell it? In other words, there's got to be some place in between. And there are so many other things that you could be thinking about other than the seminar. You see, what happens to so many of you, if you've been sold on the idea from those who are wanting to sell you something, that you have to keep pressure on an idea in order to make sure it manifests. The salesman will keep pressure on you, otherwise you might change your mind and go someplace else. And so that's where you come up with the idea, well, what happens with my desires? In other words, if I don't let them in time, don't they just go away? We're really talking about the same thing all wrapped together here, aren't we? And so when you finally really get it, that they don't go away, your desire is vibrationally encoded. It's got your name and number on it. Your desires are eternally yours and will come to you at the very best time. And the very best time can be influenced by you by letting it in, but there are other factors that make it the very best time. So when you say things like, the universe knows the bigger picture, and I'm going to let the universe deal with the timing on this, and I'm just going to do everything I can do in the meantime to keep myself happily moving along, then that all fits together very nicely.
Perfect.
When you question or second guess the universe, when you say, have you forgotten me? Or when you say, hey, you gave it to them. Who? I'm the one that's been asking for this. Don't give it to them. Or when you say, oh, there may not be enough for all of us and there seems to be a lot getting it, you keep yourself out of the flow. But when you realize there's always enough and it's coming to you in absolutely the perfect timing, and it's not being withheld because you're bad or withheld because you're resistant or withheld because you are inappropriate in any way. Very often it's better if you just allow it to percolate a little bit. Things are always better as you allow them to percolate more, because they become bigger, they become more emphatic, they become more exciting, they become more satisfying. So it's a very nice path of least resistance to say, all in good time. It's a very nice path of least resistance to say, everything that I want always comes to me. It's a very nice path of least resistance to say, things always come to me and they come in such perfect timing. It's as if I'm cared for from a very high level and everything is given to me in just the very best possible way. So then, if something isn't unfolding, you don't fret about it. You don't say, something has gone wrong. You say, things are going very right. This is just right for me. This is just right for me. And in the softening of that resistance, it speeds things along. If speeding things along is the very best thing for you. Imagine yourself with little children at Disneyland. And imagine that they've heard about it, they've seen the brochures, they've listened to friends about it, they've maybe been watching segments on videos or on television, and so they have a sense of what it is, and now they're there. And they want to gobble it up all at once, and they are just frustrated out of their mind because they can't be in all of the places at the same time. And you say to them, get what you can, we're only going to be here 5 minutes. They would just die on the spot. They would just self-destruct. In other words, that's just far too much good stuff in such a little period of time. And then you say, well, you wasted all your time worrying about what you were going to do, and now we have to go. And many of you think that that's the way the universe is treating you. When, in fact, what the universe is saying to these children is, there is so much here to surprise and delight you, and you have plenty of time to see it all. So don't worry, we're not leaving until you get everything that you want from this magnificent place. So just choose, what do you think you'd like to do first? And they say, what's closest? What's closest? Wouldn't they? Would they say, well, let's drive for 20 minutes to the other side of the park, and then I'll decide? Or would they look right around where they are, and would they go right to something that was... Now, there might be something that they've read in a brochure that they sort of had their heart set on, that they can't see right where they are, but they're soothed. They're not crazy. They're not blocking it. They're not putting obstacles in their own way if you've convinced them that everything that they want will be there for their satisfaction, and that you will stay as long as is required in order for them to have their fill of this wonderful place, you see. Now, we understand that if you took your children to Disneyland, you may not want to say that to them, because eventually you may be ready to go before they are ready to go. But we think they get their idea of the fairies of the universe from things like that, just like you did. And you come up with these ideas that there is shortage of good things, and that good things run out before I get there. You say things humorously, like, what if I come to the dock finally and my ship has already sailed? And we say, there'll be another and 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 another. Your good stream never runs out. So you don't have to wear yourself out trying to lap up the good. Just enjoy the good you're lapping up. In other words, savor more, enjoy more, experience more of the deliciousness of this moment, knowing that the more you are in love with this moment, the more moments just like it will appear right before you. So it's sort of like, I love this. Oh, I love this. Oh, I love this. Oh, I love this. Oh, I love this. And as long as you don't get into this place as, but is this the best of all to love? In other words, am I in the position where I'm getting the very most that I could possibly get in this moment? Now you're all screwed up in your energy. Yes.
Very good. Thank you.
Very good. Very good.